Oh, that's cute. Time we get our regular meeting started. May 21, 6 p.m. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. If you would all please join me. No, I'm sorry. I would like a roll call, please.
Oh, yes, okay. Denise Jones,
Yes.
David Shepard,
Present.
Dr. Michael Thomas is absent excused. O'Neill Gray,
Present.
Michael Ulmer,
Present.
Rachel Merquin, present, Lauren Dowden.
Present.
We have quorum.
Excellent. If you'd all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. If my board members could please peruse the agenda, and if there are no additions or deletions, I would like to have a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
Motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
And a second?
I'll second.
Very good. Roll call, please.
Lauren Dowden,
Yay?
David Shepard,
Yes.
Denise Jones,
Yes.
O'Neill Gray,
Yes.
Rachel Merquin, yes. Michael Ulmer.
Yay. Very good. Let's go right into our staff reports. Dr. Woodland.
Thank you. First, I would like to welcome Mr. O'Neill. Thank you. Many of you did not meet him, so he is one of our new board members, so we'd like to say welcome to you. Real wave. My first report for this evening is regarding our staff appreciation celebrations. So this school year, we celebrated our staff the week of May 5th through May 9th, which many of you know as Teacher Appreciation. There were many, many highlights from this week. First and foremost, it is important to note that this week alone cannot be the only week that we celebrate and honor our staff for their hard work and dedication. Our EP family is truly an inspiration to our community, and I could not be more proud of our continued growth and progress. This does not happen without our teachers and support staff making the magic happen. So during this week, there was a variety of themes that were shared at our building level with fun giveaways, daily treats. I think it's called a woot woot cart. What's it called?
Woot woot wagon.
Woot woot wagon. I was close. Fun giveaways, daily treats, catered luncheons, extended plan time, which I know all of our teachers really like. Sunshine carts. I heard about many of those to brighten our teachers' day. Baskets of goodies. Thank you, Sonia, for putting together so many baskets for me, and much, much more. This school year, the district office team raffled off one personal day each day to 5 lucky winners. So that was very fun and exciting. And I just want to give a huge shout out to our Boosters Club and administration for making these days super, super special. So there's some pictures that show all the fun things that happened during this week. So upcoming staff end of year celebrations, I just want to remind all board members that on June 6th, that marks the end of our school year. So we have a half-day student attendance on that day, and we'll be celebrating our retirees, years of service, and our Be Evergreen Awards, which are peer-to-peer awards. So David, I think you've participated before, Michael, Denise. It's a great event, really highlights all of our staff, and if you can attend, I highly recommend. All right, next up on my report is registration updates. So I have to give a big applause to our administrative team, our secretaries, our support staff. There were so many people that it was just all hands on deck. And so this year we revamped our registration, and the goal behind that is to really allow us to plan appropriately for our upcoming fall in order for everyone to be present for our students. So for registration, we have returning student numbers, currently 1,123 students, and we have 459 that are not currently submitted. Our new students, we have 75 kindergartners that we cannot wait to welcome. And then we have 12 first through 8th grade new students. So D124, we held an open residency verification evening. And we had approximately 180 families that came through to verify residency, which was a huge success for us to allow for increased numbers and to make sure that we get kids in seats on the first day of school. So again, this is an all hands on deck approach. I want to give a huge shout out to our support staff again, administrators, and most importantly, Elizabeth Lopez for making this event a huge success. So that is our update regarding registration. Yes.
Next up, Dr. Carlson will be giving us an update on curriculum and instruction.
It's only 6:05. I don't think I've ever been up here this early before.
Just keep going.
Great. All right. So I have a couple of things. Welcome and congratulations, Michael. And it looks different. And it's lovely. So our consolidated district plan, you should have had one in your packet. This is an annual thing that we do. It allows us to kind of align all of our federal grant funding together in one plan, make sure that all of our ideas and objectives are aligned with our goals in mind. So this includes Title I, Title II, Title III, Title IV, and then both of our IDEA grants also are all consolidated into this. It allows us to streamline that process and not have to fill out all of the same stuff for every grant. So it's a lot of work in the beginning, but then it makes all of the grant applications much more easy to do in the long run. So you all had copies of that. We'll be asking for approval. We get it approved annually. We had a handbook meeting on May 1st, which we had parents present, teachers, and administrators, and Dr. Michael Thomas was there, and Rachel was there, and then I also shared the information with Lauren. So here are some of the updates. We really did kind of a big overhaul, I felt like, last year with a lot of policies being updated that are in alignment with the IPA model handbook. So this year it felt a little bit less. Those things that we are updating, our grading committee has been hard at work since November. So we have 3 things that are being added to the handbook that align with our grading committee work both at CMS and the elementary school. The grading scale will be updated to align with the high school, which is a huge celebration and something that our teachers have been asking for a long time. We really are focusing in on our formative and summative assessments and making sure that all of our grades are tabulated equally. Right now we have people that are weighting grades differently throughout the district in different classes, so making sure that all of our formative and summative assessments are weighted consistently throughout the district. We are looking to more heavily weight our summative assessments. Really, that is the assessment of learning. Once that learning takes place, making sure that we are weighting that accordingly. And then our formative assessments are the assessments that are given throughout the learning process to provide opportunities for growth and things like that. And then we are allowing assessment retakes for those summative assessments because we want students to be mastering what we are teaching them and the standards that we have identified as priority standards. We want to give them opportunities to make sure that that learning has taken place. Benchmark assessment updates, those were some minor updates that took place. We have changed our STAR assessment at grades K1 and 2 to M-Class, which aligns to CKLA Amplify, our reading curriculum. So that update took place, and then also we added the SSIS, which is our social emotional learning screener. We added that to the benchmark assessments as well. The CMS progressive discipline procedures that they have been piloting this year, we're very excited. Those will all be added as Appendix A to the handbook so that those are in there for everyone to be able to see. And then we had some minor edits per school nurse, things like dates or forms that had different names, things like that. And then adding language, failure to serve an assigned consequence will result in a next level consequence. So making sure that students are, when they are given a consequence, such as a detention or something like that, that they're making sure to serve those. And then also at Central Middle School, no contact contract violations are also being added as level 2 offenses. So those were the updates that we discussed at our handbook. Any questions?
I wanted to really quickly go back to what you mentioned first, the grading scale change, and just give a
Yes.
shout out to our student advisory board members that brought that issue to our attention.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And there's a change.
Yep. And they also mentioned the formative and summative assessments as well. That was
Okay.
something else that they had also brought up that we felt also needed to be changed. So, yep,
Excellent.
great. Thanks.
Okay, student support services. Becky Tyrell. You're up.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so I am gonna update you guys on the year in review for our district community leadership team. As you know, this is our community partnerships that we have with various different members of the community. So at our last meeting, it was admin and then these members, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of an update and then talk about our final project, which was our community resource guide that we've basically been working on all year. So just a little bit about community updates. Evergreen Park Library, Frank Murray, 72 programs this year, over 1,000 attendees. Library is very successful. Partnered with D124, as we know, 1,600 new library cards for students. They purchased hundreds of new books for SEL for students. So that's something that Frank has really been gearing towards getting in there. Also purchased Help Now database, which is an online homework help. And then they have Mango Languages, which has a number of different languages for people to access. And he has about 300 to 400 people accessing that database. And then one thing he wanted to note is that the after-school behavioral issues have really, really reduced there. And he said actually this year he's only written like 2 behavioral letters. So we're excited to see that. The Village Pantry, an update, they serve over 60 families per week. Wanted to give a shout out to the D124 schools. As we know, they do a lot of collections for the D1 or for the Village Pantry. They also offer pantry financial assistance for one-time emergencies, and then we just kind of chit-chat a little bit about their most needed items, and they kind of articulated that it was peanut butter and jelly was to last longest. So those are their most needed items, FYI. Center for Self-Actualization, as you know, we have clinician in each building. That's going really smoothly and they're wrapping up the year. The center serves families, couples, and individuals. Most individuals are most popular resource. And then they typically have interns through the year, which allows them to service more. So we're getting ready to say goodbye to their 7 interns and kind of onboard new interns this summer. And then, of course, our SXU Birth to 3 program. So they are fully enrolled, 60 families. Thanks to our DCLT team and our partnership, they've also been making a lot of referrals to the Center for Self-Actualization and working together to do some different workshops. So they're doing like yoga and parent wellness workshops, which have been very successful, parent-child workshops, and then Mom's Night Out. They're also doing some staff wellness and team building within their SXU Birth to 3 employees. And then they're back attending our pre-K screenings. Lori Winkler, who is head of the SXU Birth, she's coming to our pre-K screenings, meeting her families here, and then also seeing some of her families that they have previously serviced. So that's been a really good resource as well. And then our community resource guide. So we have our rough draft of our community resource guide. So it's 80 pages. So anything from adult education, bereavement, family crisis, hotline numbers, food resources, domestic violence, mental health, housing assistance. So we're in the process of verifying, making sure that some of the resources that we're not as familiar with are still there. And then we have to do some visual tweaking. Currently, the layout is alphabetical. We're kind of talking about how we can, or what we think would be easiest for parents to access. And then obviously when we the goal is when we launch our new website, this will all be completed, and then we can roll it out to our school staff in the fall. So they know if they have families that come to them, where they can access it as well and direct them. So pretty excited about that. Yeah. And that's it okay, so this is the Special Education Family Advisory Council, CFAC, just another acronym to add. So this kind of kicked off in January. The goal and the mission, I won't read it to you. We obviously wanted to form a group to empower parents of students with disabilities. So the goals are to share information, offer support and networking, and advocate together. So we've had 3 meetings this winter/spring with a smaller group of parents to kind of help form this group. So some of the things that we've done is just really educate parents on what the Student Support Services Department is and everything that it entails, some of our strategic plan goals, shared some of our current resources, and then we really wanted to get input from our families on what they're looking for, what they need, what are they hearing from other families, and we came up with a group name. We talked about next year the frequency, and then we talked about what that will look like and how we can publicize moving forward. So right now, we're talking about quarterly events. So we have a couple quarterly events on the calendar with things that our families felt like were most pressing. But so first quarter, they're interested in like legal. So we do have an attorney like on the docket. I think that what we're kind of determining now is just like what kind of questions or what could that start? What are they most looking for with information, and then how we can make that like a Q&A and then network. Second quarter, we're actually doing 2. This was a big concern for parents or topic, anything that has to do with transition. So, we've already reached out to the high school. We're gonna have Mary Kerrigan, who's the student support director at the high school, kind of come in and talk about like, middle school, high school, and then our EI, or early intervention EC. So Lori Winkler and then Easter Seals will come in and we can kind of talk about what that looks like and just have a more Q&A and ease our parents' minds on that transition piece. And then third quarter, I think this is a little ambitious, but it's something that I really feel like was what we heard from parents as well. Like where are the resources for students with disabilities in our area? So Allie Wilson, one of our case managers, actually got wind of Marist High School. They have the Marshland program doing a resource fair a couple weeks ago, so she went on a Sunday to kind of see what it was, and got some resources. So we're kind of going to mimic that. This was their second year, so they didn't have like a huge turnout, but she said that they obviously said since the year before. So just even like the partnerships, I think, are important, like the library, the Center for Self-Actualization, even like Lori, Easter Seals, but then also we're looking for like Oak Lawn Special Rec. Like one of the things that Allie was telling us that we didn't know, I didn't know either, is since Evergreen doesn't have a special rec program, any student with a disability that lives in Evergreen and signs up for Oak Lawn gets the Oak Lawn rate, which is huge. So those are the things that we're looking to bring in. Even I know that just internally, sometimes the social workers or whatnot, principals will reach out like, do you know of a family who has a dentist or an eye doctor that works with students with disabilities? So things like that, people we want to bring in just to kind of allow families to walk around and pull some resources. So, and then fourth quarter, it's crazy. Wanted to do before the May rush, but just kind of a parents' night out. kind of to be determined, like what we're looking for. I think that one of the other things that we kind of toyed with and talked about is our parents themselves are looking for more opportunities for their kids to mix and mingle with other students with disabilities. So that's something we're thinking about too, and kind of holding that date. Even if it's like an organized play date, just an opportunity to kind of get together. I know the library hosts for the older students, they have a group, but it's really the little ones or kind of that elementary grade level that they're looking for. So we talked about communication, obviously being such a new group. Flyers and postcards are super popular here, so I am going to utilize our communications to kind of create a flyer with at least these dates. Email communication this summer, and then we're talking about tables. I know the booster clubs have tables at packet pickup. Some of our parents are willing to sit along with those booster club parents and give out the information, and then even utilizing our back to school bash, getting a table potentially, and even doing something fun at our table, like a sensory path, kind of get the information out there. And then we really want to share out at our TI days for our staff, so they know when they're talking to families, and then even at the IEP meetings, they can be giving that information as well. We have tons of good ideas. Well, I say we, I mean parents have tons of good ideas that I'm hoping will just keep going and the momentum will keep building. But we wanted to make it ambitious but realistic. Because what we've seen is that getting people in sometimes with the at evening craziness is hard. So we want to make it worth it and, get the information out there. So that was a lot. Any questions?
I love this CFAC idea, and I was just curious if we provide any time for like just parents to be in the room together as almost like a district staff will join you at, 5:45,
Yeah.
but 5:30 to 5:45, it's either networking or support group or just the opportunity to talk without feeling like the district is like looming over you though.
Well, and that is really what, and historically there was a group that was pretty much run by parents, and that is kind of what I've articulated at the first meeting, like this is kind of what we're gonna start, like I want this to be for you, I wanna bring parents together, but I kinda wanna fade back and just be a supportive partner. So I think that like addressing some of the stuff that they're really looking for right now, but then pulling back and seeing how it evolves or like helping shape it would be great. And I think it's been great because it's been a small group, so everybody's had a voice to kind of brainstorm even what's been on their mind. Like first meeting, one of our moms, we talked about like her daughter has a physical disability, her kids are all young, and just she really wants them to have more exposure to kids with physical disabilities that look like their sister, even if it's in books and things like that. So in our last DCLT meeting, I was like mentioning it, and Frank's like writing it down and stuff. So just things like that I think are important, and the other moms that have students with physical disabilities meeting and talking, and that is definitely our goal. Or can the high school be involved? Because there are things that like as kids get older are different concerns for parents. So we work closely with the high school and Mary Kerrigan, so I'm like, we are willing to host anything. Like we're EP family, so that includes all of us. So that would be the hope. And I think that that's kind of why we wanted to do the parents' night out at the end, just to let them feel like, kind of structure it, but like back off. I know that some of our staff really want to be involved, and I think it's great to be a resource. Like, Grace, our BCBA, has been there, so she's been able to talk about that position and what does that even look like, and answer questions in a smaller group. So I know there's other providers, like sometimes parents, what's the difference between the occupational therapist and the physical therapist? Like, so I just want to kind of reiterate that we're here to help you, to answer your questions. As silly as you may think they are, like that's what we're here for. And those IEP meetings sometimes are not the place. So there's just so much. So this is kind of the goal and the outlet, so I'm hoping that that's eventually what it will evolve into, so, yeah.
Add a suggestion and maybe a request at the same time.
Okay.
Suggestion, most of us, parents with children with disabilities, we communicate through Facebook groups. So there's a lot of Facebook groups out there. Evergreen Park Mom is out there. And in some of those groups, we reach out to people. We've spoken to people like in New York, Wisconsin, and they all come with ideas. If we have an issue, we'll put on there like, hey, son's running a fever, he won't take anything by mouth, what else can we do? And so they, introduce us to Feverall, the junior strength that we have to get through, Amazon because we can't get it at local drugstores. So if your organization could reach out to the Facebook or put some of those resources on there, you'll get a lot of communication going that way.
That is one, I'm personally not on Facebook, and a couple of our moms are on the different groups, and that is definitely something that they had talked about whether or not they have a page or they join one of those groups. And that's something that we decided, like, once this is, we didn't even have a name first, we kind of like voted on a name, like, I'm going to let one of the parents kind of communicate through Facebook groups about what we are, where we're at, and we definitely use some of that information even for our resource guide. Because we have a lot of staff members that, are on some of those groups, and they'll say like, oh, I was reading over the weekend, like, someone was out there looking, and we're like taking that information down too, so, yeah, it's a great idea.
I didn't request. Recently, the Children's Museum has changed their schedule. So the Children's Museum used to shut down once a month
Yes.
and allow, children with special needs to come in, from 6 to 8. And it was their world, their time to explore the museum, to play, to everything. And you had other parents come there, and, some of the barriers we suffer from is, my son, he's nonverbal, so he doesn't communicate when he's with other children who can communicate. And then, children are, kind of mean because he won't speak to them, but, they don't know he can't. So when they shut it down on, I think it was Mondays, I can't remember what it was, it was like 6 o'clock, it was perfect. They recently changed their schedule,
Okay.
and they moved it to like 10 o'clock in the day or some crazy schedule like that.
Are they still doing it?
They are still doing it, they increased the cost of it drastically, and it's more like the inconvenience now. Because,
Okay.
our kids' home structures. At 10 o'clock, my kid maybe is doing XYZ on Sunday, maybe he's
Right.
eating his breakfast baked, we can't take him to the museum. Maybe if your group, once it's up and going, maybe reach out to them, I don't know, maybe partner with Oakland or somebody to kind of express to them, hey, this was a change that the community really needs, and if there was something, we can do about it.
Well, and that's a good point even for our resource fair, because there are other places too, like I know some of those like jumpy places, I don't know, what are they called, bounce house places, have specific hours. I know when the carnivals roll through Evergreen Park, there's a carnival at every church. They have specific hours dedicated to students with disabilities, but I think that that's another great resource for the resource fair, just to even know that those are out there.
One other source, I won't take you over any time.
Yeah.
The kids play on 111th, right?
Yes,
Off of, that is a beautiful place.
Yeah.
The owners there, they are excellent.
Yeah,
We shut it down on, like right before Christmas, December the 22nd. We invited David Junior's, the whole class. They came for free. We took care of everything, and those kids had so much fun.
Yeah.
The one lady, she literally cried because she was saying this was the first time her son had ever been invited to anything that was outside of just regular school. So these things are kind of important as our children get older,
yeah.
so they can explore. So maybe if you all can, just band together, reach out to some of those, places.
For sure, and that's the information, and that's what we need, like our parents talking about their experiences or places that they've gone, but like, that's why we wanna have the resource fair and bring those in, so, hey, you're walking around and it's another way to network, but like, there is stuff out here, that even in Orland and like not that far Oakland, but there's stuff out there, or if there's stuff like that we need to, exactly, like reaching out as a parent group and getting those things, so.
Excuse me, did you contact the lady that you said that,
Oh, no, we have, we're in constant communicate. I'll ask my wife, what's her name?
Also,
Yeah. Yeah, and that's definitely something that we want to, that our parents are talking about, even in regards to like more, like after-school, fun, structured opportunities for students with disabilities to come together and play, and then parents network and chat, so, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
thank you. Next up, Human Resources with Mrs. Patricia Roberts.
You guys tricked me today. We laughed. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Okay, you know what? All right, well, this is always exciting. We started early this school year, really in October with recruitment. I'm not sure how effective it was starting so early, but we just wanted to get a real head start. I think we started with like the St. Xavier job fair in October, and then we didn't stop. We just kept going. So we did about 9 to 10 job fairs, some virtuals, and enough of them were in-person job fairs. But let's talk a little bit about some of the efforts and where we are today. So overall, and this is changing daily, so as of today, you know, we had open 25 certified positions, and when we say certified, we mean our teachers. And we had an overall of non-certified positions like our paraprofessional supports and other positions like that. We had a total of 9 openings. And then we had a total of 3 administrative positions, you know, our assistant principal and dean position. And so to date, we filled 20 of the overall certified positions that were open, which is 80%, which is a good number. We're not at that 100% that we were hoping for by now, but we're definitely getting there. And we have filled a total of 5 of our non-certified, and we filled all of our administrative positions this year as well. So we're doing good, we're projecting well, and of course, this is because it's an all hands on deck experience. Some of the sources we use to fill these positions, one being the Grow Your Own program, which is through the curriculum department under Ashley Carlson, which is going super well. We filled a couple of positions through the Grow Your Own program. You can slide it to the next slide if you don't mind. We filled it through, of course, the job fairs that I just mentioned. We did a couple in person. There's Denise, who showed up to our Evergreen Park job fair, the library job fair. We did with Amanda. She was my partner in crime this whole time doing the job fairs, and she supported a lot of them. Daniela, who used to be our HR clerk, supported one of our job fairs too. But some of the biggest areas where we've also filled these positions, believe it or not, is through our substitute pool. We've hired several through our substitute pool. We've hired several through the student teachers we're supporting. I have to give a shout out to our principals. They're doing an amazing job, as busy as everything is, with really connecting with our teachers and making sure they get our teachers to mentor the student teachers. And in turn, we're hiring them in our permanent teacher positions, which is really awesome. And then, of course, we got to give shout out to Cal, who's our communications person. He does our special recruitment plans each year that helps us get everything out on social media. And every year he comes up with amazing things that helps us do that. I have to give shout out to my team, the HR team, Lisa, who behind the scenes, all of our job fairs are all set up through Lisa. I mean, you think when you see that it takes nothing, but she's putting the paperwork together, updating it, putting, the supplies together for every job fair we do. So Tracy and Lisa are also like, this is crunch time for them for onboarding, and they work hand in hand with making sure in this crunch period of time we have to get all of our hires done, making sure all the credentials are right, pay, all of it. It's a real, work effort behind the scenes, and Lisa and Tracy are just amazing. Daniela, who was our HR clerk, who supported a lot of this too, Ashley with the Grow Your Own program, Cal, and of course, all our principals who recruit every day to fill these positions, they really make it priority. So it's just a real all hands on deck thing. And I just think we've been doing it so wonderfully, especially in the last couple of years that I've been here. But you know, one of my main goals, and we'll talk, I think I skipped that a little bit, talk a little bit about some of the diverse candidates we filled. We did fill, as far as minority positions are concerned, we filled one position in our administrative area, and we filled 4 positions in our certified positions with minorities. I'm happy to say we filled 6 male positions for our certified teachers. So, and you see, we're moving that gauge. Each year, we've increased that a little bit more each year with the male hires, so I'm just really excited about that. A little disappointed about, I used some news sources this year to do, you know, some more diverse hiring. They weren't so lucrative for me. You know, I did a virtual, historically Black university type job fair and some other things, and it just wasn't as lucrative. But I can tell you this, there's a huge shift. We are finding that the in-person job fairs, these young, they are not interested in doing the in-person job fairs. They're more interested in doing the virtuals, and it's been, you know, a positive benefit for us, using more of the virtual than the in-person. I mean, we do fill positions, but it's like 1, 2. We're mostly getting them through the virtual. So those are our numbers. We're doing well, and we keep projecting to fill positions that, you know, are coming up unexpected that we're filling. I think we'll be in pretty good shape for the new school year. Any questions? Thank you.
Just want to wait, before you go, I just want to acknowledge what you have done, because I remember, what was it, two years ago, a year ago, when we were discussing about changing those numbers,
Yeah, well,
and
there they all are.
there they all are.
Thank them.
And you really
They are,
rose to the occasion. I really
amazing.
appreciate that. And 6 males, that's,
Yeah, I know.
look, we coming up.
I'm really impressed. So we keep moving along.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Patricia.
you, Patricia.
Next up, the business office with Mr. Eric Grossi.
We had 2 FOIAs/public record requests last month. One was from the data branch and one was from Civic IQ Inc., and both have been completed. Statement of expenditures, nothing really unique happened during the month of April expenditure-wise. You know, salaries, benefits, and then majority of the finalized purchases through the classes and the schools are getting completed at the end of April, beginning of May as well. Revenue-wise, we had a handful of grant revenues come in, and then evidence-based funding revenues came in. The state has announced, I believe it was late last week, that they're expecting to be a little bit of a delay in the property tax payments coming up for the next installation, but nothing crazy. As a result, our fund balance went up a little bit because our revenues, it was a pretty normal month, but the revenues just slightly outweighed the expenditures in April. Now, extended day fees. So I'm presenting extended day fees to the board today, with hope to get approved today. So historically, the extended day program is meant to be a break-even program. We have no intention to profit from this. And when I was running an audit on this fiscal year's extended day fees, I identified that we're running at a little bit of a deficit. So in order for what I believe to get us back to that break-even dollar amount would be, I have the recommendations up here where it's rough, you know, it's roughly like a 20% increase across the board, but it's off a smaller dollar amount. So you could see for the fixed daily rates, for example, on the left, for 5 days, last year it was $5.50. Or for this year it's $5.50. I'm proposing for next year that would be $6.50. And then the biggest change, dollar amount wise, out of everything, would be the after-school flex daily rate for 1 day, where it would be going from $19 to $22.75. Does anyone have any questions about the extended day?
Just one thing, you will not vote on this until
Sorry.
June. so it is not an action item tonight.
Any questions about anything?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that brings us to public comments. So just a quick reminder, per Education Policy 2230, we have a public comment session in every meeting to respect our stakeholders, the commenters, our board, and the public. We adhere very closely to a 3-minute time limit for everyone. We will set a timer, and we hope that everyone will respect the timer so that we can keep this meeting moving right along. In addition, the Board of Education does not typically respond to any comments. This is mostly because we want to make certain that whatever we say is factual and correct, so we need to take a little bit of time to respond. But we do hear you, and we will be responding in a very timely manner. And if the information is ready at hand, we will ask a relevant staff member to speak on it, but that's not generally the case. So with that, I have a public comment. Are there any others? Okay. Miss Carly, I'm gonna be bad at this one, I apologize.
That's okay.
Savatieri.
Savatieri, yes.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening. Thank you first for giving me the time and opportunity to be here. I am Carly Savatieri. I am a mom of 2 first graders at Northeast. I'm here on behalf of several families from Northeast, many of which came with tonight. And first, we just want to start again. Thank you for everything you guys do for our school and our district. But what we are here for is to request a prioritization of installing an air conditioning in our gym. It's not really just about comfort as much as we would like to say that. It really does impact the health and safety of our students and the staff. The Illinois Department of Public Health actually recommends that indoor temperatures in the school remain between 73 and 79 during summer. However, at our most recent event in the Northeast Gym, our thermostat did climb up to 88. And that was just on the thermostat in the back of the gym. So the students that were under the stage lights, it was a lot hotter. They were visibly sweating, they were flushed, some of them reported feeling lightheaded, some were even nauseated. It was a very clear sign that the current situation was not working. This issue isn't just about that one event either. Last year alone, there were over 20 school days with outdoor temperatures over 85 degrees. So on days like that, without proper cooling, temperatures inside of a gym are gonna increase, especially with the kids and their physical activity. Additionally, Northeast does serve as the district's summer school host. So our gym and our school is being utilized a lot more. We also have our morning care, our aftercare, and a lot of booster club events. So that means a lot of the students and the staff and volunteers are put into situations we don't really feel like are the best for anybody. We do understand that we're asking for resources and planning and time, but we also have done a little research on our own. It shouldn't be too bad. I think all we need to do is like add a coil and piping and just run into our, I don't know, I'm definitely not the expert on this. This is what they've been telling us, so we'll see how accurate it is. But basically, they just need to take our already existing AC unit that was just put in recently and just kind of run it right into our gym, which I think is actually located right there. So with your support, we hope we can make this happen. Thank you again. I do have pictures of the thermostat if you want to see. But that's all. Thank you so much, guys.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So much.
Thanks to all the parents coming out and participating in the democratic process. This is what makes this country great. And we'll be following up with you. Do you have an email that you want us to follow up with? Do you just want us to call you?
It's my first and last name at Gmail. I'm simple, or call me, whatever works.
Perfect. We will.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, there are no other public comments at this time, so we will be moving into board reports. And first up, Mr. David Shepard, could you please provide us with the Aero Governing Board meeting?
Yes, I will. So I did attend the recent Aero Governing Board meeting, and here's my report. It started off with a bang. There was a parent that had a great concern that staffing was changing at the school. She was concerned being that the principal was leaving, that there was 5 other staff members that was leaving, that she was worried about the change that her son would, experience with new staffing coming in. He's been there for a while, he's comfortable, he has some things going on, And she was really concerned, and she was really worried whether there was something that was going on at Arrow that was prompting people to leave. So, there was some little conversation back and forth. They reassured her that it wasn't that, it's just that, staffing, they move on in life, they evolve. There's other opportunities for them to, take on, and so we will replace them and have somebody that's gonna work well with her son. They did express how far they've come since the opening of Arrow. Just a couple of years ago, there was like 65 open positions there, and they didn't know what to do. They had a lot of contract staffing, filling all the positions, but they praise now that there's like only really 4, floating around. They've done what they need to do, and only like 14 is contractual. So there's a lot of actual staffing there that exists. They wanted me to express that the board of it at Arrow is looking for some classrooms. Being that they have some new incoming students that's gonna be coming in, they're kind of like out of space. Before they were scattered sites and they brought everybody together. Unfortunately, now the building, there's not enough room. So they're looking for boards that would host like a classroom for them that they can utilize throughout the school year. I believe they already had a volunteer from, I think it was Burbank if I'm correct. And they wanted to say, no, I'm sorry, our high school actually gave a classroom for them to utilize throughout the school year, which was excellent. And they wanted me to express it here and ask if we have any space, any room to volunteer it out. They also went over that they replaced 3 of the vans that they use, which are the Suburbans. It's kind of a system they use every year. They replace 3. They either offer them to other districts or they trade them in. So they have 3 new vans, which is beautiful. 8th grade had their graduation yesterday. Early childhood will be graduating tomorrow. If anybody's interested, it's there tomorrow from 10 to 12:30. But the big thing that they did is, and it's something that I think we may want to look into if we can. We approved the MOU yesterday. It's a contractual agreement with Burbank Police Department, so Burbank can utilize their in-house cameras. So at any time, if there's an active shooter or if there's any of the students there who needs any kind of assistance, because the fire department stays there, quite natural because of the support services there, Burbank can instantly dial into their cameras and see what's going on. And coming from a background in law enforcement, that's really important. Most of your local officers never even step foot inside your schools. They have no idea. So at time of crisis, when an officer does enter, he has to know left or right, what classroom is here and there. You don't have that. With Burbank being able to quarterback and seeing in their cameras, they can direct the officers to where they need to go right then and there. And the crazy part is this program, it was only like $1,800 for them to get, that connection for a whole year. So, I don't know if we had it.
We do not currently.
I don't know.
Yeah, we can definitely reach
We
out to
could
that.
maybe reach out, I thought that was a resource. And last but not least, they did nominations and board elections, which was pretty much the same people. Just wanna let y'all know. And that was it. But it was my first meeting. They were very nice, extremely nice. I came in, I had a placard already. Somebody gave me an ID from somewhere. I felt really welcome and it was really, really nice.
That's
And
great.
that is my report.
Thank you, David. All right, Finance Committee meeting, that will be me. So the Finance Committee meeting was about a month ago almost, and we had 2 main topics of conversation. The first was we went over insurance and benefits that the district pays for all staff. And it was just kind of projections and such and how much those costs have been increasing steadily with our carriers. More informative than anything else, no action from the board at that time. Benefits are collectively bargained. It's not something that we would touch anyway. But it's just something to bear in mind as we budget and as we look to levy that the health insurance costs continue to grow and there's not much slowing down in that area. The other topic was touched on by Mr. Grossi, and that was our extended day fees. He kind of just broke through the chart that he ran us through a few moments ago, and the committee was adamant that extended day is a valuable program and it's a special program, but it is a unique program that really only services a subset of the community that utilizes our schools. So because of that, we feel strongly it has to be cost neutral. We're not comfortable passing any of that on to the taxpayer, especially people that can't even utilize the program. So that's where a lot of the impetus behind the fee increase is coming from. It's just about being fair to the taxpayer. That's essentially it for the Finance Committee meeting, and then we're gonna give you a brief update on the Community Task Force, which met on May 7th. It was a good meeting. It was a lot of different stakeholders in the community were there, and we had some good presentations we had our architects there who gave us some more realistic renderings of what a new central middle school could look like. Walked through some of the potential additions to a few of the elementary schools, the removal of mobile classrooms, or the trailers as I like to call them, and some additions of soft surface playgrounds at the elementary schools, which we were all pretty enthusiastic about. Additionally, we had our public opinion consultant there who kind of walked us through the process of understanding what's the right way to approach a referendum question, how to and if to for this community. And it was good background information to have. And then finally, our bonding agent, Tammy from PMA, was there, and she broke down some of the costs for us, what that would be for the taxpayer, and just high-level stuff on median home values and what it would cost you if you had a home value of X. I thought it was a great slate of information. It ran a little long, but these things tend to do that. And then Denise was also there with me, and if she has anything that she would like to mention, I want to open up the floor to you.
Again, it was a good meeting. That was our second meeting out of 3, my first meeting. We had a diverse group of stakeholders. We had staff members, community members, administration, board members. We were able to tour Southwest. I've been to Southwest quite a few times. I absolutely love Southeast, sorry, Southeast. I'm picturing Southeast in my mind. Southeast. Been there quite a few times. I absolutely love Southeast. I love Southwest too, so. I love Northeast and Northwest too. And it was my first time touring the mobiles, and we had a lot of feedback in regards to those mobiles. We had one of the veteran staff member to kind of really speak on the safety and security of the mobiles, and also when the hazard of in and out during storms, tornadoes, rain, snow. And I was just able to imagine those children and staff members going back and forth to those mobiles. And it just, really rang a bell in my head in regards to how important it is to get those mobiles removed. We had a very good meeting. I really enjoyed the fact that we had a lot of people to support the project and a lot of people to not support the project, which is what we're looking for. We're looking for that balance. We need to know. We're looking for the information. We're looking for a direction. We're not saying that this is a clean slate. It's done. So we're looking at all the different opportunities and things that we need to do in order to get to down the path that we're trying to go. So overall, it was a really good meeting. I will only suggest that we have a student voice in these meetings.
Love that idea.
A student voice. We need student voice. We need either a student from the student advisory board, or just any student. I would suggest like or dislike Central. I mean, we need both. We need both views for the building, and their ideas, suggestions, and to help us with this direction. So overall, it was a good meeting.
Thank you so much. And I just want to throw out there, we have one more community task force meeting coming up. That's on June 3rd. I would encourage anybody that wants to participate to reach out to Dr. Woodland. It's not too late to join in, to get some information, to get some free food, get a tour of the building, whatever strikes your fancy.
Mhm.
Okay.
And I do like Central. I do.
Let the record reflect, we don't have any favorite schools. We like them all.
But I
Equal
just
opportunity.
Right.
I'd like to add, in the community, I've been hearing the chitter chatter now, and they're talking about Central. I was with some families at an event the other day. They didn't know I'm a board member, and I let that go. You know, and they were talking, but one was talking very positive, like, oh, this would be a great thing for, you know, for school. And the family that was talking already had kids that are older that weren't gonna make it into the school, you know,
That's
just
great.
talking about in the community. So I was like, oh, that was nice to hear.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you think of like the ones that, you know, the kids are gonna be coming through and their
Yes.
kids were older. And then there was another family talking where they did have a little toddler. They're like, oh, well, maybe my kid, you know.
Yeah.
And so I started to hear rumblings in the
Yes.
community.
That's great.
Mhm.
To piggyback off of what you said, Denise, the two students that gave us the tour of Central,
They're student advisory board members.
yes, send them in.
Yeah.
Oh my God, send them
I
those.
was thinking it would
send
be
them in.
really fun to have a
Yes.
student panel. I'm gonna tap Amanda on this
Yes,
because she's
definitely.
done this before, but like just topics around like what they could share.
Yes,
You know, the locker rooms, David,
Yes,
that's
the
a
locker
hot topic.
rooms. yes, those locker rooms.
Yes, great idea. Thank you.
All right, so we are now getting into the meat and potatoes here. Let's do our action items. I have the consent agenda first. So that's A, 1, approve monthly transaction reports for April 2025. 2, approve fund balance reports for April 2025. 3, approve expenditure report and projected payroll report for May 2025. 4, approve board minutes and from the close, I'm just gonna start over. Approve board minutes from the special organizational meeting of April 30, 2025. 5, approve destruction of closed session tapes from January 2021. 6, we have personnel recommendations. There is a slew of additions, some resignations with intent to retire. Congratulations to you, that's well earned. And C, resignations. Could I have a motion to vote?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Could I have a second, please? Thank you. And a roll call, please.
All right, Rachel Merrickwin, yes. O'Neill Gray,
Yes.
David Shepherd,
Yes,
Lauren Dowden,
Yay.
Denise Jones,
Yes.
and Michael Allmill.
Yay.
Motion passed.
We actually have an employee here tonight, Michael, that I just wanna introduce. We always invite people to come to the board meeting. So Michael, nice to meet you. He will be our new HR clerk who will be working with Patricia.
Oh, man.
And we also, yes, I know, this is so exciting. We have a couple more. So Haley, who do you have here?
I have Coco DeBello. She is my new, gonna be new second grade teacher at Southeast.
Welcome, we're so excited. And Coco, did you student teach with us?
I'm sorry.
Did you student teach with us?
Yeah, Southeast was also my school when I was little, so.
Awesome. And then Dr. Vanek, do you have someone here?
Melissa Moran is the new instructional coach.
Hi, Melissa. Welcome. We're excited to have you. Right, thank you. Is that everyone? I want to make sure we don't miss anyone. Okay, great. Thank you. We have swag, but we have to.
Oh, yes, well, that's.
Yeah.
Okay, item B. Approve dean at Central Middle School effective July 1, 2025. Could I have a first, please?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Could I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. And a roll call, please.
Denise Jones,
Yes.
David Shepherd,
Yes,
Lauren Dowden,
Yay.
Mike O'Neill Gray,
Yay.
Rachel Merrickwin, yes, and Michael Allmill.
Yay.
So I'm gonna introduce Miss Danielle Weston. So Danielle Weston, if you'd like to stand up to the board administration and staff. So Danielle comes to us with many years of teaching experience as well as her most recent experience as second in command in her current role. She is the master of all trades, I like to call her. Exceptional multitasker, leader, facilitating staff coaching, student discipline, and a member of her district MTSS committee, and much, much more. Something that resonated with me during our interview with Danielle is her extreme passion for students and the Evergreen Park community. A community member herself, a graduate from Central Middle School and UP High School. It is truly the right fit. So welcome, Danielle. We are so excited to have you. And you went to Southeast? Yes, okay. Yay. So we're so excited to have you. And of course, we have swag for you. So we'd like to welcome you with our EP family gear. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Thank you, thank you. Welcome to the admin team.
Congratulations. Congratulations, welcome.
It's a long walk. Congratulations.
So many EP residents.
Yeah.
I know, they all want to work for us. It's great.
Imagine that. Okay. Item C, approve summer school staff. Could I have a first, please?
I'll make the motion.
Could I have a second, please?
I'll second.
And a roll call, please.
Denise Jones.
Yes.
Lauren Dowden.
Yay.
O'Neill Gray.
Hey.
Rachel Merrickwin, yes. David Shepherd.
Yes.
Michael Allmiller.
Yay.
Motion passed.
Thank you very much. Item D, approve consolidated district plan. Could I have a first?
I'll make that first motion.
Thank you, David. Could I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, O'Neill. And a roll call, please.
David Shepherd.
Yes.
O'Neill Gray.
Yes.
Denise Jones.
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin, yes. Lauren Dowden.
Yay.
And Michael Allmiller.
Yay.
Motion passed.
Item E, approve parent-student handbook for the 2025-2026 school year. Could I have a first?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Could I have a second?
Second.
Oh, who's gonna fight for it?
I'll go with Lauren. There we go. That's
Roll
fun.
call, please.
All right, Rachel Merrickwin, yes. Lauren Dowden.
Yay.
David Shepherd.
Yes.
Denise Jones.
Yes.
O'Neill Gray.
Yes.
And Michael Allmiller.
Yay. And item F, approve Mr. David Shepherd as Aero Governing Board Representative. I'm going to use my presidential prerogative and make the first motion on this.
I'll second.
I wonder
Like run out of here.
Michael Allmiller.
Yay.
Denise Jones.
Yes.
David Shepherd.
Let me think about it. No, yes.
O'Neill Gray.
No.
Lauren Dowden. Rachel Merrickwin, yes. Motion passed.
All right, very good. Next up, we are going to be recessing to closed session to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the district or legal counsel, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee or legal counsel to determine its validity. 5 ILCS 120/2 C1. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
And a second, please?
I'll second it.
And a voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, guys, we are not going to be live streaming when we come back, but we do have some action items. If you want to stay, you are invited to, but we're not really sure when we're coming back, and that does not sound very entertaining. But please feel free to do so.
And grab a cupcake.
Grab a cup.
Grab some
Okay.
cupcakes on your way out.
Yes.